morning, everyone. Welcome to Autumn's Time. We're gonna have some fun tonight making deviled eggs with our wonderful to peel, with our easy to peel Instapot eggs. If you want to learn how to do that, watch my other video. So, first things first, we're gonna get our eggs peeled. Okay, so these are all peeled. I'm just going to rinse off the extra shells real quick, and we'll get started. Just going to pat them a little bit dry. And so you can do this with a fork, you can do it with a mixer, or easiest way, I'm just going to do it in my food processor. It's just a really cheap food processor that I got at the store. That just makes it nice and smooth, so it looks pretty. We're cutting these horizontally, so the long way in half, like so. And sticking the yolk into the mixer. And this isn't going to a party or anything, this is just an odd number of eggs left over. So I decided to make some deviled eggs out of them, because those will get eaten around my house. So I will tell you how to make this with a dozen eggs. However, this is, how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 9 eggs. So the recipe will be a little different that I'm putting in that I'm telling you. For a dozen eggs, you would do about 1/4 cup of mayo. I'm going to experiment with about 1/3 and see what that looks like. And then you can use normal mustard. I like to use Dijon mustard just to give it some extra spice. With a dozen eggs, you'd use a tablespoon. I'm going to use a tablespoon and a half. Approximately. This is completely a taste, so if you want a little more or something, a little less, it's not breaking any rules. And I'm just going to get that off the side. And onto the lid. Okay. And we're just going to mix this up until it looks nice and creamy. If you're just doing this at home for you and you don't care if it's smooth, you don't care if it has a little rough texture, you can just use a fork and a bowl and mix it together and it turns out fine. It doesn't look as pretty, and that doesn't really matter. Normally I would use a quart size freezer bag, but I just used them up today freezing some bone broth. So I'm gonna do this with a sandwich bag. And the only difference really is that the freezer bag gives you a little more stability, and I just didn't want to waste a bigger bag because they're a little more expensive. So just take a spatula, get it out of your bowl or your food processor, get it into your baggie. I'm going to show you the fancier way of doing this, just in case you do want to bring it to a party and you do want it to look a little snazzier. You are going to cut just a teeny tiny bit, just a little bit off the corner of your baggie. Now I definitely should have done this before I put this in here, but that's okay. It'll turn out fine still. You can get these frosting tips anywhere, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, whatever is near you. They're super cheap. You can get 3 tips for like $2, I think. You do want to have a larger tip so that a good amount will come out. And then you can use a frosting bag. I'm just gonna use a baggie because that's what I use most of the time. A gallon or quart baggie. So you're gonna stretch that hole over that tip. Then you're going to place the tip on top of the baggie and then screw that tight. Once you screw that tight, you're gonna move the yolk into that part of the bag and just get all that air out. Everyone knows how to do this, I know. Once you have that down into the tip, you are just going to fill this up and make it look pretty. I do. Now, having used a freezer bag versus a non-freezer bag, I would definitely recommend using a freezer bag. They are just not as sturdy, and they're harder to handle. So don't do that to yourself, especially when shooting a video. Okay, so I'm just going to fill these up. Now, no, this is a little more difficult. I made this more difficult on myself than I needed to. I should have just used that gallon bag. Some of these did not turn out very pretty. But you're going to use a Ziploc that's freezer, so you won't have that issue. I'm going to sprinkle them with a little salt and pepper. This is kind of powerful pepper, so I'm not going to put too much on it. I'm just going to make them look a little prettier by pinching a little bit of paprika on them. I didn't put too much paprika on them because this is hot paprika, so I don't want to burn anybody's mouth off. I wasn't expecting it. I'm just going to stick these in a sealable container. And all right, thanks for joining me tonight. You guys have a wonderful day.